This is probably the best bad idea I've ever had. We're going to play retro games at 32:9 on a 49-inch ultra widescreen 5120x1440p monitor because we're insane. Show me Bob's and Keys. This is bobkeys.com. We are working with them to bring you an additional 25% off on products like Windows 10 Pro. Use coupon code TS25 and you're going to save 25% off the already good price of $18.08, bringing it down by another $4.50. You can save money on Windows 10 Home and also 25% off as well with Office 2019. Now, once you get your key, it'll appear in your account. Just copy that, hit start and type activation, and activation settings will come up. Click on Change Product Key, and then paste your product key here, or if that's not there, it may just say Add Product Key or Update Product Key if you have not already activated. Just paste it in there, and then you will fully be able to use Windows 10. Thanks to bobkeys.com. And now to our regularly scheduled program. This monitor is huge. It's more of a monster than a monitor. It's a 49-inch, 32:9, 5160 by 1440p monitor. It's essentially two 1440p monitors side by side. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to take this Viotech SUW49DA that I've been using, and I'm just going to talk about a few retro games, because that's something that everyone always tries to play all the newest games on these things and you know, play whatever the current modern day equivalent of Crysis on this is. But I wanted to try some old games just to see how they played, see what the caveats were, and see if it really is as difficult as a lot of people say. First thing, Another World. Old Interplay game. And as you can see here on the screens, we've got black bars on the side, and it looks like 16:9 stretch. So I'm going to have to go in and mess with this a little bit. If I'm actually going to play a game on my computer later, and there's an update, or if one of you know of some fixes, you know, in the comments, let me know. So this one does look pretty cool at the ultra wide resolution. Oh yeah, I'm gonna rock the cage. Oh, he's gotta rock the cage. I really want to know what he says here when I land. Come over and tell me what's up. Still looks pretty cool. I think if I mess with the settings, I might be able to get something that works that's not so stretch. Yeah. Master. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. All right, what does he say right here? I've got an argument going on with somebody. I think he says my sharuba, which doesn't mean anything, but someone else thinks he says something about a tuba. I disagree, so let me know in the comments. Anyway, so that's Another World. Kinda works, looks pretty good, but it is stretched. Now check out Baldur's Gate right here. It's actually running at 21:9, so it's better than 16:9, but out of the box, the Enhanced Edition does support these wider resolutions, which is really cool. So you can see like enemies way before when you normally would see them. If you're planning your moves and stuff like that, you can plan them out way in ahead of time. So it does look a lot nicer, but the black bars on the side bother me. So I went into the in your documents folder, there's a Baldur's Gate folder, and inside there's a Luau script that you can edit. So I went in there and tried to change the resolution to 5120x1440. When I loaded the game, still, it just defaults back to this 21:9. So the Enhanced Edition does have the ability to automatically work with ultra-wide monitors, just not 32:9 out of the box. I'm going to have to figure that out. I left myself a 20-minute limit for whatever game I'm testing, because I got shit to do, right? So I'm not going to sit here all day and just test this for a video that's going to go on YouTube and not even get that many hits or whatever. So let's fight somebody. Sick boo on you. I don't have boo. Yeah, that music. Yeah, you don't talk to me, gate warden. Show you a thing or two. But now see if there's like enemies all the way over here. I can see them. Whoops. Well before they get here, and I can plan and be like, oh, you're hurting. Let's get you the hell out of there. Get out of there. No, you take him out. Run! What you got from top of my guard's like, I don't see anything. Oh, this guy's tougher than I thought. Is he? Yeah, he's on the other guy now. There we go. Come on. Let's go back. Jeez. Run. Oh no. They're all about to die. Why is this guard doing nothing? I guess he just likes a good show. Oh, there it goes. The combat over. Well then. Play or death. We're playing real rules. Well, now you get to see how this is. Anyway, if I actually decide to play through this game again, which I probably will, I'm going to figure out how to get rid of these black bars on the side. So there's got to be a way. And if you know of a way online for the enhanced edition on how to change the resolution manually, let me know, because I cannot figure it out. One of the best games of all time is Beyond Good and Evil, and that is beyond dispute. Zelda in space, but with a much better cast, much better. It's really awesome voice acting. So if you have not played Beyond Good and Evil and you want to play it, this is how you should be playing it, ultra widescreen. Now, most of the areas in the game are going to work just fine with ultra widescreen. And it's an adventure game, so it's a lot of fun to run around in this giant world. But one thing that I did notice is after you get out of some of the main areas and you're floating around in the hoverboat, you're going to notice that some of the textures on the side were never made to go beyond 16:9. So you'll see some like just weird stuff happening on the sides. It's like the textures aren't filling in, or maybe I think they're trying to occlude some of the water because it's expensive to render. So I'm not sure if we're going to need to fix that with a mod. I think I'm just going to try to tolerate it because this doesn't seem to be happening in the more enclosed areas. It looks like it's just the water occluding itself on the sides and only rendering what you would normally be able to see in a 16:9 ratio. So there's that.
How's it going, Jade?
Come on.
Jade reporting incoming.
That's how you power stuff. Just like that. Alright, let's drive this thing around. Alright, let's get to one of the most important games ever made. Doom. And all the Doom WADs. So using GZ Doom, not just Z Doom, but GZ Doom, you can go in and you can go in and just enter any resolution you want without having to do any sort of nonsense. You can get it to work with Z Doom, but with GZ Doom, it's so much easier just to go in and manually put in whatever resolution you like. It scales correctly and it looks amazing. So with GZ Doom, this was easier to get going than any of the old Unreal Engine games aside from Deus Ex, and maybe it was even easier than Deus Ex because it was all done inside the game. I didn't need any extra launchers or anything. I just used GZ Doom and threw any WAD at this and it'll work. Hello, Cacodemon. So Doom is an awesome game for ultra wide displays, 21:9, 32:9. It's really nice to have an immersive experience in an old game that I grew up with on a tiny 4:3 monitor. Being able to come back and play it on a 49-inch ultra widescreen is pretty freaking cool. So I'm also going to try a few WADs out with this, and the first being, yes, Pirate Doom, of course, Pirate Doom. Rum Guzzler. Wow. Full screen? Yar! Yes. So I'm not going to play this one in OpenGL accelerated because that's what they recommend for this WAD, but I usually prefer to do just software. If you haven't played Pirate Doom, it's one of my favorite WADs just because of the sheer ridiculosity. That's right. You get to arrive on a boat, explore some pirate worlds, kill some Pirate Doom demon-looking things, and drink rum whenever your health is too low. It's not grog. Would have been a nice nod in the direction of Monkey Island, some other old school games from LucasArts, but no, it's not grog, it's rum. Rum's good enough, I guess. So basically Doom and all the WADs are going to look amazing on this screen and take almost no time to get working because, let's face it, if you're playing Doom nowadays, you're probably using Z-Doom or GZ Doom. Now the real question is, software rendering or OpenGL? And my answer is, I think that depends on the WAD. Okay, let's look at some Daggerfall. Look at these sprites. This feels so slow after playing Doom. But my god, makes me want to replay Daggerfall. I don't care what you guys say, this music's better than Jeremy Soul's music in Morrowind through Skyrim. Thank you to everyone who's working on Daggerfall Unity. If you don't follow them, here's their Twitter link is going to be in the description. But Daggerfall Unity essentially takes the original old Daggerfall game, which is the Elder Scrolls Part 2, one of the best Elder Scrolls games and still probably the best game when it comes to randomly generated dungeons and text and quests and characters, cities. It was really one hell of an algorithm they put together to make this game. And it's a great RPG if you want to go back and see the roots of Elder Scrolls. Well, doing it at 21:9 with this version of Daggerfall is pretty freaking awesome. I was very surprised at how easy it was to change my resolution, and also the UI stayed in the middle. My map and stuff stays 16 by 9 in the middle of the screen, so it doesn't stretch all the way to the edges. So thank you very much, Daggerfall Unity people, for making this happen. Had a ton of fun playing this and running around, and I may end up having to come back to this for a little while because it's just a ton of fun. Now let's stick to Elder Scrolls and go to the next game, see how Morrowind works. Also, this is, I'm not playing this faithfully. This is obviously much higher resolution with some better sky textures and that sort of thing. If you wanted to play this in the original like 320, whatever it was, you can, but I would not recommend doing that on ultra wide. Just go ahead and go a little more modern, even though the gameplay is retro. Morrowind. Get out of here, Fargoth. Nobody wants to mess with you. I mean, unless you do. So the only thing I'm really doing here is just running Morrowind Rebirth. So I'm just running a little Morrowind visual overhaul right here. It's not much, just Rebirth and some other stuff, but mostly true to the vanilla game. But it allows me to go in and set my resolution. After doing that, it works perfectly. It's fine. The interface is totally fine. Plus, the interface on this one is a true PC interface, as opposed to some of this console nonsense that you see with some of the more modern RPGs. Those windows there, you can drag and drop them anywhere you want. So Morrowind looks great. And let's run around Vivek for just a minute. I bet you've never seen Vivek looking like this. Now, I asked online what everybody wanted to see. And the first comment I got almost immediately, was from Dave. And Dave said, Fallout 2. So, of course, I played Fallout 2. It's one of my favorite Fallout games of all time. And I've only ever played this on a tiny 4x3 monitor that I think was like 1024 by 768 at the Ritz-Carlton a long time ago, way back when it was like a newer game. So I was working security in the graveyard shift overnight, and nobody came into that place. And we had a security monitor, so I was able to finally crash the security software so that I could go in and allow alt-tabbing. Alt-tabbing was not typically allowed. So I set it up so that you could alt-tab, in and out of the security monitor that had all the video surveillance stuff going on, right? And I would sit there and play Fallout 2. Played like 80 hours on the clock for the Ritz-Carlton. Thank you very much, Ritz-Carlton. But whenever I would hear someone, or like every once in a while, the head of security would swing by to see how I was doing in the middle of the night, I would alt-tab. But you'd always hear this ominous music in the background, because even when you alt-tabbed out of Fallout, the music would keep going in the background. So they thought I was into some really strange ambient sound effects and music, and I was like, oh, just listen to my stuff. And they were just like, roll their eyes and leave, and then I would alt-tab and sit here and play some more Fallout. But anyway, check this out. Ultra-wide Fallout is amazing. We're running around New Reno just a little bit here. It's the same thing as Baldur's Gate with these type of RPGs, except this one's turn-based, and I like that much better than Baldur's Gate combat. This has the combat. VATS is great, but being able to control and see what's going on at this scale is just like nothing I've ever seen before. Plus, just very simply being able to change the resolution up to this using some, I think it just downloaded from GOG and was easy to do, but the interface is also nice and right in the middle of the screen, so this was a ton of fun. One of the things I love about 3D Realms is they're still around and they're still making really kick-ass games like Ion Maiden. Well, they changed the name to Ion Fury, I believe. But yeah, I still call it Ion Maiden. This is actually Blood Fresh Supply. And they updated this to work with Vulkan and to work with modern hardware. So I needed zero fussing, zero modifications. All I had to do was go in and change my resolution, and it works perfectly. So I can play this old classic Blood and Blood 2. And they're going to be beautiful. Work perfectly on my ultra-wide. All right, so Unreal Tournament is a little bit weird because in order to run it at 5120 by 1440, the user interface in the HUD is going to be stretched. I'm going to need to mod that to make it fit better. I've already got it so that it's like small and minimized, but the weapons are really freaking weird looking. So what you have to do is you have to go into the options here and just hide the weapons, and you'll have to remember which weapon you have out. So after we hide our weapons, it's a lot easier to see what's going on. Just have to remember what weapon you got out at any given time. Where the hell is everybody? All right, so the problem with running this at a lower resolution is that I felt like it was squished a little bit, so that was odd. I also had to go in and change my FOV to 155 to make it look good on this. But having said all that, the only thing I don't like is the fact that the interface that's left is still a little bit stretched and weird, like, look at that crosshair in the center of the screen. Even running it like this, it still looks really weird. So it is what it is. It's very playable like this, but it's not quite as good as UT2K4. Even though this is a more fun game, it still feels a little weird. I haven't found the exact settings. If I can figure out a way to change the HUD fully, maybe it'll be different, but until then, I might play this in the middle of the screen at a more reasonable resolution. I am getting used to this, though. Stop shooting me. Come here. Trying to run away from me? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right, then we come over and look at Unreal Tournament 2004 compared to 99. It still feels a little weird to me, and there are some fixes I haven't even actually installed here. Like there's a HUD fix that is actually a mutator based upon your resolution. I don't have it installed here, but because I'm going over my 20-minute time limit. But you know, that is one thing on UT2K4 that you can take advantage of. Also, I tried a lot of different FOVs, as you can see. This is way too wide. I found around 140 to 150 to be appropriate for most of these games. So the old Unreal Engine games do work, but they required a lot of fussing. Obviously, I had to play this, and I'm sorry now that so many of you are going to have to go reinstall this, but of course, we're going to talk about Deus Ex. The original Deus Ex. The good Deus Ex. The cyberpunk Deus Ex. The king of all video games right here. The best immersive sim, and possibly the best video game ever made. Deus Ex was much easier. All I did was install New Vision 2.0. It's a lot cooler, in my opinion, than New Vision 1.5, because 2.0 is a different animal altogether. It just does some AI upsampling for all of the graphics. So you still have the original graphics, just at a higher resolution. And then I use Kenty's launcher to go in and change my rendering method. I downloaded a DirectX 9 render mode. I don't like DirectX 10. It looks way too different when it comes to how all the lighting works. So I used a DirectX 9 render using Kenty's launcher, and then did a manual resolution, entered this in, and it was pretty easy. So all the links to this, they're all going to be in the description. It took me maybe 5 or 6 minutes to get it running like this. No big deal. id Tech games have a lot of support from the community. I mean, so do the Unreal Engine games, but I feel like this is just so far beyond what you can do with the old Unreal Engine games. So Quake was so much easier to work with. My FOV feels a little bit stretched. That's all right. Because there are so many mods, I'm just using the dark places, whatever. And but yeah, I could totally play all of these old games, no problem. All the games that are on id Tech, completely easy to deal with. So awesome. Watch out. Actually, this is a really awesome experience because it just works when you're using the right, the right mod or whatever. Oh shit! The giblets, all these jibs everywhere. Look out. I'm gonna jib you with a shotgun. Alright, so this might be pushing it for retro, but, Half-Life 2, I actually never completed Episode 2. So I might come back and complete it this way. I don't know, I just got busy. I think I was doing some really important shit at that point in my life, like big-time important person things, But it looks awesome. And right out of the box, without any mods or anything like that, it just natively supports pretty much whatever resolutions that Windows says are available. So here I am in Source Engine running around in this beautiful forested area, hanging out with Alex and playing some Half-Life. So yeah, I'm definitely going to come back and replay this. It just, when you're playing games at this wide resolution, it does breathe like a new life into some of these worlds, and you see so much more, feel so much more and more immersive. So definitely going to come back and play this one a little more.
Let's see. They're trying to help launch it. Ah, here we go.
As usual, nothing works in Half-Life. I love Source Engine games because they just work. They just pull the system information and work. Oh, this looks pretty damn good. Yeah, I could get along with this just fine. So Dark Messiah of Might and Magic worked without any fussing or tinkering or anything. I'll get off of there. It just worked, so not much else to say about this game. Just go play. If you haven't played this game yet, you like medieval, but you also like FPS, and you like Arcane Studios games and games like Thief and similar, well, I highly, games like Dishonored, immersive sims, I think you'll really like this game. It's like a medieval game with some really good combat, some of the best combat ever in a medieval game. So I would highly recommend trying this out. All right, the last thing I want to mention is DOS. So DOS games are going to stretch to around 21:9 typically in DOSBox. And you can go in and try to manually change some resolution, but a lot of games are just not meant to be played at widescreen. So they're going to look better played in windowed mode in the center of your screen with maybe some upscaling or something like that. Some of the newer DOS games that do support changing your resolution and stuff like that might be okay, but we're looking at Betrayal at Krondor here, which was never meant to be played on anything more than like a 4:3 monitor. So even messing with the config files and stuff, I wasn't able to have too good of a time. It just looks really stretched. If you think you know better than me, please let me know in the comments. I'll buy you a cake flavored beer. I decided to see how some emulators ran. And if your computer's powerful enough, they're going to run just fine. So Mario Kart playing on the Wii U emulated with Cemu. I think I'm using whatever the newest version at the time of making this video. But yeah, it runs pretty damn well after you get the shaders compiled. After one time around the track, the next time around the track, it's super smooth. And you could just see so much more. You cannot do this on console. But since you're using an emulator, and since we've got like a more modern game, it does allow you to go in and set resolutions manually. After playing it like this, it's like, damn it, I can't go back. Also playing Zelda and stuff like that, it's just like Zelda with mods. I've got it running with the Zelda mod. Now, in order to get it to run like this, I had to go in and install a custom graphics package, or actually had to modify the resolution graphics package. You just go in and you see right there in your graphics package when you edit the file. Why would I ever want to go play this on console when I can just play it right here? Of course, I went out and bought the game on console because this is my backup copy, right? That's the rules. But I do believe that if you're going to buy a game, you should support whoever created it. Unless you're completely dirt poor, you deserve happiness. I believe in you. You played it in these super wide resolutions like this. Other emulation for like older systems and stuff that are bound to 4:3 are still going to play letterboxed in the middle of your screen, and I would not recommend playing them otherwise because it'll just stretch it. But when it comes to emulators that allow you to set your resolution, then I highly recommend just setting it yourself. You'll actually notice that my HUD is a tiny bit stretched. That's because there's no one's created a true package for 32:9, so it's basically just using the 21:9 HUD, and that's okay for now. But once they release a graphics package officially in the community packages for Cemu, then I'll be able to update. I guess I could write it myself, but I don't. My rule was 20 minutes per game max limit, so that's going to go over the limit. Why would I ever want to go play this on console when I can just play it right here? Of course, I went out and bought the game on console because this is my backup copy, right? That's the rules. But I do believe that if you're going to buy a game, you should support whoever created it. Unless you're completely dirt poor, you deserve happiness. I believe in you. There you have it. I'm sure I didn't cover your favorite old game. Maybe I did. But if I didn't, feel free to leave a comment below. Maybe I'll make a follow-up video with a few more of these old games. But I hope this gives you a general idea of how it's going to go. A little bit of fuss gave me a lot of cool gaming. And one thing I want to put into perspective is like, sure, I might spend 15 to 20 minutes fixing a game or getting it to work in ultra wide, but the result is I'm going to get to enjoy an old game that maybe I haven't played in a while, or maybe an old game I totally missed in ultra wide resolution, and that 20 minutes of effort means that I can play a game for hours and hours and hours and have tons of fun. So I think that's a little bit of work for a pretty big return, in my opinion. Otherwise, the only thing I really wish I had with an ultra wide screen is a little more vertical resolution for just doing like work, emails, documents, and that sort of thing. That's why I have a vertical monitor over on the side of my screen. But even Unreal Engine, I started to, I really did miss the vertical resolution at first, but then I widened it out and made my viewport nice and wide, so I got used to that, and it's just a much easier way to edit than having a sort of a 4:3 screen, because you have all the menus and toolbars and your viewport's only going to be like squished and almost square. So really the bottom line for me is this is about as good an experience as you can get right now, in my opinion. The thing that I would really, really like is that extra vertical resolution, and I considered going to like one of those 43-inch gaming monitors from Asus or Acer, but both of those use a very similar panel, maybe the same panel. and that has a lot of color bleed with the pixels, and it does not look as good as I want it to look. It's a VA panel, 120 hertz, so it checks those boxes, and it's also huge, which is nice, because with that I would be able to play my games letterboxed in the middle and still have my ultra wide resolution games. And then when it came, then when it comes to like 16:9 content, I'd be able to view that natively on the screen without black bars. So until someone makes a 4K monitor with a good refresh rate and a good panel that's huge, I'm going to stick with this one right here. Don't forget to upgrade your hardware. Head over to epicpants.com, grab yourself a mouse, grab yourself a mouse pad, grab yourself a keyboard. See, that's what we're using here, the Finnick. And also grab yourself one of our new t-shirts and be glad that you have it, because you're special. I love this new cyberpunk design. See you guys in the comments.